Superstars.
I've got to say, JR, I'm really impressed by what we've seen here tonight.
How could you not be, King? These are some of the...
Look at that! No fear whatsoever. What an amazing superstar.
Be that as it may, this isn't the sort of thing that wins matches, King.
I'll agree with you about the larger part, JR. He's about as wide as he is tall. I'd say he should take up sumo wrestling, but I don't want to see him in a loincloth.
No one's ever going to accuse Big Show of being a pretty little ballerina, King. I think he's a great deal more agile than you give him credit for.
Well, he couldn't be much less. He's got all the grace of a full elephant and half the size.
He countered that and made it look easy. Sounds like this crowd's got something on their minds, King.
Who cares about them, JR? Look what's going on in the ring.
A textbook reversal there.
I feel like we shouldn't even be talking during this match, JR. We should just silently admire the masterpiece, like we were looking at a sculpture in a museum or something.
If you want to zip your lips for a few minutes, King, I won't complain.
This is a great old-school move, JR, using that ring rope to cut off your opponent's breathing.
I don't know how great it is, King, but it's a tried and true method for wearing down your opponent quickly. That's for sure.
These superstars are putting on a great match so far, JR. But if they drop the ball, these fans will let them hear about it.
I don't think that's going to happen, King. These competitors know that their paychecks come straight from the WWE fans. They're not going to let them down.
Yeah, but if they don't keep the fans happy...
If wishes were fishes, the world would be an ocean. The submission is locked in. This could be huge.
Oh my gosh, JR! You can't go on without tapping out to this.
And there's the submission. There might not be any way out of it.
There better be, but we're going to see a tap out right here. Oh boy, these fans have got something on their minds, JR.
Well, they paid for their tickets, King, and they've got a right to say whatever they want.
You've got to give Big Show some credit, JR. He might be slow and clumsy, but at least he's not very bright.
Oh, you're a scream, King. I'd love to see you try to say that.
He's really cranking up the pressure on that hole, JR.
He sure is. There's no doubt he's looking for the submission right here. Oh, for the love of... Talk about having no respect for your opponent.
Well, if you've got a problem with it, maybe you should do something about it, JR.
No matter how many times I see him, I never get over the sigh.
I don't think this superstar's gonna be having any kids in the immediate future, JR.
I wouldn't think so, King. Not without a medical miracle.
Wow! Listen to these fans, JR!
You can fool some of the people all of the time, and all the people...
He reversed it! You talk about ruthless aggression. Look at the way these superstars have been going after each other.
They're not playing with kid gloves, that's for sure.
We knew we were going to see a heck of a match, but this might turn out to be... No, go ahead and say it, JR.
All right, I will. I think this one's got all the makings of a bona fide slobber knocker.
Look at this, JR. Can you imagine SmackDown putting on a match half as good as this?
No disrespect intended for our SmackDown colleagues, but no, I can't, King. I truly believe Raw is the dominant brand of sports entertainment.
And you hit the nail right on the head there, JR. The dominant brand. Not the slightly better brand or the sort of superior brand.
Absolutely not. I'm a Raw man. And I have to believe we're head and shoulders better than the competition.
You won't get any argument from me, JR. SmackDown's the minor leagues as far as I'm concerned. I think... Uh-oh! Talk about a hole you don't want to find yourself in.
No kidding! This will rearrange your anatomy.
I've been looking forward to this match all night, JR. I can't believe it's finally underway.
This has been a hotly anticipated contest. And as far as I'm concerned, it's living up to the hype.
No question about that, JR. The fans certainly seem to be into it, that's for sure.
And when it comes down to it, that's all that matters.
It looks like they've slowed the match down a little. And I think that's some good strategy right there.
It certainly is. I'm sure they're well acquainted with the old expression, "Fool, he's got that submission hole locked in."
He sure does, JR. He might make his opponent tap out right here. This match has the potential to be an instant classic, but I think these fans are too stupid to realize it.
How can you say that, King? How can you insult the intelligence of these WWE fans?
Well, I heard that we gave them an IQ test, and the results came back negative.
Folks, I've got to apologize for the King here tonight. He must have gotten up on the wrong side of somebody else's bed this morning. Boy, when you look at these superstars, it really drives home the fact that Raw is the dominant.
I think he's going for the throat here, JR. Literally.
A huge choke slam. There's no question why it calls it the showstopper.
Did you ever think you'd be watching these superstars compete against each other here tonight, JR?
I had a feeling their paths were going to cross sooner or later, and I'm glad I'm here to see it.
Me too. It almost makes it worth having to sit next to you and listen to those corny expressions of yours. What the heck? Oh, man! Choking an opponent with the rope like that can take the fight right out of him.
And not only that, it tells your opponent that there's very little you won't do to beat them. This capacity crowd is making their opinions known tonight.
They sure are, JR, and I love to hear it. I'd ask you who you want to win this matchup, JR, but it's been pretty obvious since the start of the show who you're pulling for.
I'm trying to remain as objective as I can, King. Quite frankly, I'd rather see a good competitor. The submission has been expertly applied, and now it's just a matter of time.
That's right, JR. You've either got to break the hold or get broken by it. I think I know who's going to win this one, JR. Oh, flat on your back with your shoulders on the mat is no place to be.